single crop. For example, tea, coffee, rubber, all right, and coconut, all those plants, all right, all those are the plant and they are growing in a large area. Okay, so growing of single crops. Okay, and important plant crops are plantation agriculture or crops are the tea, coffee, rubber, cotton, etc. Okay, so under this the characteristic, what are the characteristics of plantation agriculture? First and foremost, agriculture is the growing of single crop. They are growing a single crop, all right? This is the meaning as well as the one of the character. They grow in a single plant. And large estate. So they have a large area. For example, tea plantation area, that will be a very large, okay? And in India, the Assam tea is very famous, right? Okay, and the capital, all right? Capital here in the sense the money, all right? The human capitals, all right? Land, okay? And all those things comes under this. And the managerial support, okay? So the large estate, capital and managerial support are required for this, okay? Or required for this very cultivations, okay, or agriculture. And in this plantation agriculture, they use the scientific methods of cultivation, okay. They have their own lab to test, okay, the variety of tea, or from the very tea leaf they will try to test a different or they will try to make a different tea, okay. Okay, scientific methods are used and they are specialized in single crop, okay. And they are expert in growing a tea or a tea or a coffee or any other plantation crop. And it needs a large number of cheap labor, all right. Every leaf has to be collected from the state, okay. And then for that there's a need of cheap labor. Okay, otherwise it will be unprofitable and it may not get that much demand in the market, right? And in these plantation areas or tea states or coffee states, you will find all those areas are properly linked by the transportation system. Okay, in order to export the product, all right. So for that, and there is a link of transportation system to the factories, so that from the factory directly they can export to this the other countries and so on. Now here you will try to see and who introduced what, all right. So many of the Asian countries and African countries are colonized by the bigger country or stronger countries in the earlier period, or in the 50 years or 60, 70 years back, or yes. So what happens, and those stronger countries have introduced, in order to utilize those colonies, and they have introduced the many different crops, especially the plantation crop they have introduced. And for example, cocoa and coffee in West Africa by the French and British, they have introduced a tea, coffee, all right, in India and Sri Lanka, and rubber in Malaysia, sugarcane and banana in West Indies, and coffee in Brazil. And nowadays, still some of the state of Brazil steel plantations are still managed by the British. Is that amazing? All right. And in the language of Brazil, it is known as fazendas. I don't know the proper pronunciation, but the fazenda, it means to say the coffee plantation, large coffee plantation. Is that okay? Okay, so with this we have finished with the plantation one, and let's go to the next one. Extensive commercial cultivation. So the word itself, it will tell you the meaning. The extensive means large areas of cultivation. Okay, and large areas of cultivation with what? Grain. All right. So that's why it is known as extensive commercial grain cultivation. And this, whatever the product comes from this agriculture is meant for the profit making or business purpose. Here the meaning: cultivations of crops, especially wheat, corn, barley, oats, etc., for a commercial purpose is known as extensive commercial grain farming. As I've told you in the last class, if you know the pattern of your textbook, then it is very easy to learn. They have touched the meaning, then the characteristic and distribution. These three, and some they have introduced us, what are methods and so on, okay. But mainly they have focused on three. So each and every the topics tell you these three, or talks about only these three, okay, and distribution, right? So this is important. So this is regarding the meaning and characteristics. Wheat is a principal crop or a main. This is important. So this is regarding the meaning and characteristics. Wheat is a principal crop or a main crop of extensive commercial cultivation, right? And these extensive commercial grain farming have a large farm size, large land holding. They have a huge land, all right, 300 acres, 300 hectares, and 250 hectares, and so on, all right. So they are holding such kind of the land. They have their own laboratories, all right, to see, to check the soil. They will take the soil sample, all right, and according to the requirement of a soil, or okay, and they will add this add the fertilizers, insecticides, and pesticides, all right, weedicide, and so on, okay. And they have all the technology, okay. Mechanized or machines are used for entire operations of cultivation. So from the plowing to the harvesting, okay, all the processes. In the processes, you know that the farm system, right? What are the farm system? Farm systems are input, processes, and output. Okay, you need an input, seed, labor, sunlight, all those are soil, all those are correct. Comes under input. And processes. Under the processes, you will plow, you will level, you will sow. Okay, the leveling, sowing, plowing, right? Have you understood? And growing, harvesting, all those continuous tense will come, right? All those comes under the second farm system, that is processes. And output and last one is a product. So input, processes, and output is a farm system. Am I right? So all the processes of a farm systems are done with the machine, and especially they have called the technology or called combined crib. What is this combined crib? It is a technology, or it's like a tractor which will harvest and then which will take out, remove all the weeds or the unwanted materials, okay, and then they will pack and everything they will do. You try to see the picture in your textbook, all right? It's given that. Okay, so and this combine is very useful for the extensive commercial grain cultivation. There is a low yield per acres, land-wise, all right. The size of land-wise, okay, if you compare, it is low, but the high yield per person. Because in the Western countries, what happens? Very less people are engaged in the agriculture sector. Okay, so yield per person is very high, and but as far the land is low. Exactly the opposite is happening in India. The yield per land is high because land is small, and yield per person is low because in India more people are engaged in the small land holding. Okay, or you can try to distinguish between the subsistence farming and commercial farming. Okay, that's one thing. All right, so yield per person is high. Okay, because less number of people are engaged in the agriculture sector. Okay, out of those 5 sectors, what are those 5 sectors? Primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, quinary. All right, and in this primary sector, most of the in developed countries, most of the people are engaged in these 4 sectors. All right, and very much less in these primary sector. First one. Okay, then the distributions of extensive commercial grain cultivation, and extensive commercial grain cultivation is mainly covered the areas of the almost, you can say, the grassland of the world, right? For example, the Eurasian steppes. What are these? All right, steppes is a grassland, all right, of Europe and Asia. Am I right? And Paris is a grassland of Canada and USA. All right, or in North America. Fine. And Argentina, Pampas is the South America's grassland area, you can say. And South Africa, okay, Veldt. And Australia, it's not down, it's dome. And Canterbury Plains of New Zealand, all these are what? The grassland area. And in these extensive, vast plain land, and they will cultivate the wheat or a grain cultivation takes place. Am I right? So I'll try to locate these areas into the map or on the map, so that, because this is very, very important, they all most of the time they ask these questions in the examination, right? For example, the steppes. All right, steppes is the grassland area or the extensive commercial areas of Europe and Asia. So this falls under here. This is Europe, this is Asia. All right, so these areas have a large extensive commercial farming or cultivation, right? So that is known as steppes. And in America there is an extensive commercial grain cultivation that is known as Paris. All right, so these areas, this is Canada and this is United States of America, right? In these areas you will find a lot of extensive commercial grain cultivation. Then in the Argentina, all right, Argentina. This is Argentina. The yellow one is Argentina, all right. So here, these area, you will find a lot of cultivations of wheat. Fine. And then the South Africa. In the South Africa, you will find wheat cultivation over here. This is the Nelson Mandela's country, am I right? South Africa. And then the Australian and Australian domes, okay, over here, and these areas have a lot of wheat cultivation. And the Canterbury Plains of New Zealand. New Zealand is over here, just down to the Australia. Okay, so with this we have finished with the 2 topics, that is the plantation agriculture and extensive commercial grain farming. Oh, display. We have finished with the 7 and 8. Okay, and now we are going to touch with the mixed farming and dairy farming, the point number 9 and 10. Okay, so that is the continuations of a primary activity. So mixed farming. What is mixed farming? Farmer practice cultivations of crops and rearing of animal husbandry or rearing of animals is known as mixed farming. Tangan specific to the kishavishna. The summer doctor is what summer of Shingle Chi, to which in the Jera, a Semji Yache Shiva, Bilgalosa, mixed farming. Yeah. And then the KJ Karelana, the characteristics of the mixed farming. Moderate in size, the size is moderate. That and wheat, barley, oats, maize, fodder crops are grown. That is negative. Wheat land choje, barley land, some say oat land, the tungiva. So we know breakfast cake up the tungiva oats. That would share. And maize is also known as corn, and fodder crops. Fodder and color. What is fodder? Fodder is nothing but food for crops. Okay, and dindiki crop, food fodder crops and color food for animals. Dindiki crop is what that here is. And cattle and sheep, pig, poultry are raised. The end of common, commerce gas and cattle, sheep, pig, poultry are raised. That's just so you go is. The todo goes on mixed farming and animal husbandry the crop is raised together. Animal the okay. Animal the crop is crops not only this is there. Okay, for the crop of this. Animal not only there. This is mixed. And emphasize on emphasize on growing crops and animal. These are the important theories. Emphasize important theory. Then high capital intensive. Capital intensive that is and use of chemical fertilizers. Use of chemical fertilizers and crops, the growing of crops or cultivations of crops to the fishing. Chemical fertilizers and green manure farmers are skilled and specialized. Skilled and specialized and methods of cultivation. Methods of cultivation crop rotation. Crop rotation crop rotation. Intercropping raw chigla, margeta, raw chigla, alta, penditu, intercropping method and distribution. That they get a call Northwest Europe and Northeastern America, part of Eurasia, and the dedication to temperate latitude of southern hemisphere. Temperate latitude of southern hemisphere. Need a temperate land go to over. Temperate land color here. A total mid latitude region they get temperate region. Okay, mid latitude. Mid latitude land 45 degree coffee the and mixed farming practice to be relevant. Then let's come to the next one. Dairy farming and keeping or rearing milk animals for commercial purpose scientifically. Rather, could be singing the correct and songly scientifically, and characteristics most advanced and efficient types of animal rearing. That the alright, and highly capital intensive. Capital intensive that is some machine that is shoe fish than your penetration. Paju really lama shuek, yana god really and sheep really lama shuek, machine really. Corans of desa really separate. Says that we get some roads and the lines in okay. what the highly capital intensive and then this which you remember that patient women being that building fixed capital working capital that they get the yellow and the animal share that the animal share and put this such storage facilities that the animal they contain milk and milk products they get in a storage facility. Okay, and it not only milk, animal product, and they give the storage. Okay, and milk, milking or milking machine, right? Almost sure a machine is a vegetable risk, storage facilities is a vegetable risk, and special emphasis is laid on breeding. And so breeding and deep emphasis and animal health care. They are taking care of those animals, right? And they provide us veterinary services to those animals who are suffering, all right, from various illness. And then you know what is pasteurization, all right? Pasteurization is nothing but the killing of germs in the milk, right? And refrigeration, all right? Keeping the milk or milk product, any product, and all right, to make that durable or which can be used for a longer period of time, right? And other storage facilities, and these facility has provided or made the life of a milk and other product longer, all right, and because of that there's a high demand in the market, right? And at the same time good transportation systems are provided, okay, and all for the dairy milk there's need of a good transportation system so that they can supply the milk and milk product to the market easily, all right, because they are producing the milk in a large amount, okay. Then next one is distribution. Now this distribution is important because again they may ask you the examination, all right. So for this, the distribution, the largest, all right, dairy milk that you find in the world is in the northwestern Europe, all right, northwestern Europe. So this is north, south, east, west, all right. So where do you find that? Northwestern Europe. So these areas, right? In these areas you will find one largest the dairy farming you will find. Then the second largest, where do you find that? In Canada. So this is Canada, this is USA, and this is Canada, and this is Mexico, right? So this here in Canada you will find the second largest dairy milk farming, and third you will find in Australia. This is Australia, and next one is New Zealand, all right. This is New Zealand, and Tasmania, all right, in Tasmania. Tasmania is a state of Australia, and which is 240 kilometers away from the Australia. Is that clear? So with this we are going to stop.